Okay, it looks like new one here. It's kind of interesting. MasterCard forces Pateron to blacklist Jihad watches Robert Spencer. And Robert Spencer, who is, he has a website called Jihad Watch. I don't think I've ever been to it, but there's so many websites out there for them. It's hard to say which ones you haven't been to sometimes. But the owner, and what he does is he goes after like, I mean, well, I don't know what his whole site's about, but I think it's going after like, just saying, hey, here are terrorist groups and stuff like that. Here's stuff they're doing within I guess. I guess it's about terrorism or something. I don't know. And it goes like this. And the letter he gets, and this is actually from Breitbart, it goes, my name is April, and I am on the trust and safety team at Patreon. I have been notified by MasterCard that we must remove your account from Patreon, effective immediately. MasterCard has a stricter set of rules and regulations than Patreon, and they reserve the right not to offer their services to accounts of their choosing. This is in line with their terms of services, which means it's something we must have to comply to. Okay, since when does MasterCard have a right to tell them who and who not they can do business with? All right. Yeah, I can't wait to see this congressional investigation that ever comes to that. It goes on to say, I have paid out your remaining creator balance of $475.20 to you via direct deposit. The company continued, I am sorry for the inconvenience and frustration this may cause. How about totally pissed off would be more like it? Now, Laura Loomer puts down, Jihad Watch RS has been banned from at Patreon without explanation. This is a coordinated attack by big tech to shut down conservatives. When will at real Donald Trump speak about silencing of his supporters? And then Patreon goes on and says, and I'm reading this from the site. Hey, we've been emailing with Robert today to explain the situation. Unfortunately, MasterCard requires to remove his account. We will continue to email him if he has further questions. Hey, we've been to explain the blah, blah, blah. Also, at Patreon, be honest, please. You haven't been emailing with me. You sent me one email saying MasterCard couldn't work with me, which was weird since I don't have a MasterCard. No explanation was offered. When I asked for one, you didn't answer. That's not emailing. So in other words, they lied. Oh, wait a minute, it's Patreon. Never mind. He was giving any warning about rules. He doesn't have MasterCard. Patreon is also banned Lauren Southern commentator Brittany Pettibone. They've banned a lot of people. There's a lot of people that they have banned. And everybody they banned has been on the right. This has nothing to do with MasterCard. It has everything to do with censorship. It has everything to do with, oh my God, Trump might do this. Is everything to make sure that Republicans and people who support Donald Trump don't get to say anything, because God forbid they actually say something to help Donald Trump get reelected. Their biggest crime is Donald Trump got elected. Trust me, this is what this is about. This has gone on, and Trump finally says something. I'll probably do a video about that. And then here's an update. A MasterCard spokesman responded to Breitbart News request for comment on the following statement. As part of our normal process, we share information about websites that may have illegal contact with the acquirer or merchant's bank that connects them to our network to accept card payments. The acquirer would then review the site for compliance with legal requirements and our standards. They would then determine that the action take place. In this case, the acquirer advised us that they decided to terminate acceptance. In other words, oh my God, you're using freedom of speech away. We don't want you to. Please shut them down. And only thing I can think of is what probably happened is MasterCard saw some questionable things going to, hey, will you look into this? And they're like, oh, no, MasterCard's probably shut them down. And MasterCard may have not even wanted them shut down for any reason. They just wanted to say, hey, is this guy legit? If the answer would have been yes, then it would have been okay. So I think Patreon was just looking for an excuse to get rid of them. Someone's lying. It's either Patreon or MasterCard or both. So, yeah. This is disturbing, and this is not the first time something this happened to other people. There have been other people who've been denied their the ability to use Patreon. It's gotten so bad with some people that if certain individuals had gotten onto like a site such as Maker Support or Patreon or like one of the competitors to Patreon, that the banks would say, get rid of this guy or we're not going to let you do monetary business with us. Okay, yeah, well, this is ridiculous. If the person isn't breaking any laws, then what's your problem with who you're doing business with? This is ridiculous. The amount of ridiculousness about this is, and I think this is going to may prompt a congressional investigation with numerous people who've had stuff like this happen to come up. And I will tell you, this is not going to be nice. This is just, I think, the tip of the iceberg of what's really going on. And I think I think this house of cards that the left has built up against the right is going to collapse on them. And yeah, this is really disturbing that either MasterCard is really into this or Patreon's just using this thing as like MasterCard going, well, screw you. You know, they're just using the MasterCard thing to kind of screw these people. So yeah, we'll see what comes up with this. That's about it.